Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today I am hearing Myrkur for the first time, so we're starting with the song Tor I Helheim. Here we go.
En stolhøjt månestemme under velvestin. Den var hovedpande og skyer dødningben. Der så man heller troede, han var hun ved mod fod. Mod isen blå at skue af underløbet blod. Dødningben det hvide, vel bleget i måneskin. Hun straktes ud til kvide med et hævngærigt sind. Det var mulen lugte, hun svang det som en vogn. Som kongespir hun brugte det i sin grumme hånd.
I'm gonna pause here. This is gorgeous. I didn't put on subtitles because I know sometimes those are poorly translated. So I'm gonna look up the words to this song and try and find a decent translation. Okay, I won't read the entire translation, but I did find a summary that says this song is based on a Danish poem depicting Thor's journey to the underworld. The lyrics revolve around the fate of those who die without honor, focusing on their eternal torment. I think that makes me love this even more because there is so much sweetness in her voice. In one sense, that sweetness makes me view her strictly as a narrator. But on the other hand, she could also be telling the story like as the goddess of the underworld. I don't know quite what the intention was, but we're going back. Lots of beautiful things to point out. Here we go. Before we even get started, what a beautiful opening. Just like the constant hum of the cello throughout this. And that in contrast with the height in her voice and the lightness, I think is just, it's a beautiful combination. Hearing that initial sound, I genuinely had no idea how her vocals would progress. This is a very light head voice, but there is a lot of adduction and a lot of forward placement. And of course we get that sort of, not like an echo effect, but just like a different sort of amplification because of where she's putting her hands. So it has this really like pressed brightness, and hearing what she does later, how she's just kind of settles into that head voice and allows for a really smooth transition into mix and down into chest voice, I think was just really beautiful. But this, again, with the cello, it's just very impactful. control. Like, having so much press at the onset of this, you still have to manage your breath so that you have enough at the ends of phrases. And you could hear that slight, let me play that again, at the end of this phrase. Like, when she descends, we're still getting tone. It's just so soft. The dynamic contrast there's a lot of contrast in this, but dynamically right here, I think that's just beautiful. I love how clear that tone is. No vibrato, really beautiful press. I mean, it's not so pressed that it feels strident. It's just like so well balanced that we get this beautiful tone with a little bit of edginess. I'm gonna play that one again.
En stolhøjt mandestemme dunner velvet sten. Den var hovedpande og skyer dødning ben. Der så man heller troede, at var hun ved mod fod. Mod isen blå at skue af underløbet blod.
I think what I love about this particular sound is how natural it is, both in tone, but also in what I'm gonna say are habits. There are some slight slides throughout. There are some sort of whimpery moments like we hear a lot in like pop music. And it feels like she took such an earnest approach to this vocal line, but a light approach as well, because when she dips down into a chest dominant mix or something that's more chest range, she's not putting a lot of added press into that sound. So it blends so seamlessly when she ascends or descends from head voice. Let me
Der så man heller troede, at var hun ved mod fod.
right there, that I feel like had a bit of the sort of slide we hear in our own contemporary pop sounds. One more time.
Man heller troede, at var hun ved mod fod. Mod isen blå at skue af underløbet blod.
And again, as she descended, she keeps the resonance, that placement, pretty far forward, because it would be so easy to just dig into the really big backspace and openness and like that open pharyngeal space, but she's not doing that. So it really feels still contained, and it matches everything so well.
Dødning ben det hvide, vel bleget i måneskin. Hun straktes ud til kvide med et hævngærigt sind. Det var mulen lugte, hun svang det som en vogn. Som kongespir hun brugte det i sin grumme hånd.
I feel like this particular section, she allowed a smidge more air to pass through. There was this added sort of fuzzy texture. There's still so much clarity in her sound, but I think that added texture just sort of amplifies the simplicity, and just makes it feel, I'm gonna say it makes it feel less polished, even though it takes more work. Like, the effect she's creating, it's so effective. um and yet I know it's added effort. I know added effort is required to make these sounds, but the result just feels so natural and so, I don't know, simple in like the best way possible.
Det var så tyst derinde, vi lugter overalt. Der rørtes ingen vinde, kun hulesukken gjør. Tre fakler blåligt lue, ved hver en dødningsstod. Men idel red sin skue, med intet spor af blod.
If you know what she's second from the left as I'm watching, I would love to know what this particular musician is playing. It looks like a bone, like sticks on bone, but I genuinely don't know. So if you know, please let me know. That's gorgeous. I mean, hearing these beautiful voices all together, firstly, that's just stunning. But I like the choice of them almost, they didn't double the cello, but it kind of sounds like it, in that the violin here was what sort of rang out melodically, and they just all created this beautiful drone.
Der så man to at smile, han vendte sig omkring. Han måtte hurtigt dele, hen i de dødes ring. Han råbte højt derinde, da disse strenge ord. Så går det hver en kvinde, som mig der følger dår.
I have a theory. I don't know if we're going to hear it in this one, but the dexterity that she has in her mix, given like the head dominant mix we've heard throughout, we just heard a little bit more press. And so I feel like she has the ability to do some insane things in a chest dominant mix, but I just don't know if that fits this particular song. So if it doesn't get featured here and she does it in another song, please let me know, because I think that would just be so thrilling to hear.
I uselige tårer, som frygter sorg og død. Nu helger evigt sorger, med kvæl og bitter nød. I lod og hjelmen vælve, og missen kæmpe strid. I skabtes til at skælve, så skældte evigt tid.
that voicing. It's so beautiful. And it, again, it kind of echoes what I was saying about this sort of simplistic approach. Their intonation is great, but it doesn't sound as though tuning was their top priority. And that maybe not even tuning, but like just blending, or, you know, even when you think about cutoffs, there were moments of like staggered cutoffs because I feel like the priority is the story itself, the text. And yet their voices go so well together, and it created just this really, I don't know. My mind is just racing. Like I have so many pictures in my mind just reading that brief summary about the song and then hearing these voices layered the way they are. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. In a world where everyone is trying to sing higher and louder and incorporate more runs and riffs, sometimes it is just so refreshing to hear refined simplicity. And for her to just amplify the beauty of her voice, like to focus on that and not have to, I mean, don't get me wrong, she did some beautiful stuff within her registers and some of those like little yodels and flips. I mean, there was a lot of nuance. There was a lot of contrast, both in tone and in dynamics. But there was just this beautiful simplicity that was so refreshing. And I just really enjoyed that. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for this recommendation and for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.